Today we're going to be drawing the Leopard Shark. Hi, I'm Bill Flowers and today we're drawing the Leopard Shark. An unusual looking shark. It doesn't look like the normal run-of-the-mill shark. It's one of those sharks that sits on the bottom of the ocean floor, although it does swim around quite often, but often it's resting down on the ocean floor. Now, most sharks need to be moving to get the water through their gills, and so as this guy is resting, you notice those gills are really working overtime to keep this guy alive. Beautiful shark. Sometimes it's referred to as the zebra shark because when these guys are very young, they've got stripes, but as they get older, those stripes break up into spots. We're going to start off with sort of an oval shape there like that, followed by a fairly skinny letter V here, but we're going to do another skinny letter V there like that. So these guys got a very interesting tail. So these are little construction shapes that we're starting with. Do a line here. So do this very, very gently with your pencil. Don't do this too heavy. A line there, and this line here, I'm going to continue that up through here as well, like that. And a little bit there. Now their heads are very interesting. A big sort of a head. It's interesting trying to get this shape right. So you see I've extended that out from the oval a little bit there. I'm doing a little bit of a bracket there. Another bracket there. See how they are a little bit disjoined, and I'm going to do a tiny little bit here. I'm going to do a tiny little bit there. I might round that a little bit. That's sort of basically the shape of the head. The pectoral fin here is really big, so we're going to do, if you imagine a letter U, like that, capital letter U, and we're going to shape it a little bit. We're going to do a bit of a curve there, a little bit like a bracket there. You see how that bracket curves there and then goes up to there. Do a little bit of a bend there, and probably try and straighten it slightly here, around it there. So you can see I've made a few adjustments to that. Now a little bracket here, and we're going to the pelvic fin. So this fin here is called the pelvic fin. It's almost a squarish shape, but it sort of goes in a bit there. Now a bit of a bracket here, and here we're going to put in the anal fin. See a bracket there like that. A little rounded bit here, and maybe I was going to do a straight bit, yeah, straight bit here. Or a slight curve on that. And see how that cuts in like that? So where this joins the body, it doesn't actually touch the body, it actually joins here. Just put a rounded bit here, because this one's a male. And he has clasps there to hold onto the female while breeding. That's how you tell the difference between male and female. Now the dorsal fin. We're going to move this line around here like this. We're going to put the dorsal fin way back here, so it's a line there, a line there, and a line here like this, and we're going to round those off. See that? And might even smooth it out like this. So that nicely smooths in with the body there. It's a beautiful curve there and a curve there. This is where you understand the beauty of a lot of wildlife by just sort of noticing those beautiful curves. Now that's the first dorsal fin. The second dorsal fin, which is going to come in like this, it's going to be a similar shape, just a slightly smaller version of the first dorsal fin. And we've got this long, almost eel-like tail. Seems to have just the one muscle. Now comes the interesting bit. We've got like a half a square shape there, up a little bit here, and a slight curve here. We're going to do a line here, but I'm going to just do that a little bit, just a bit, so it's not a straight line. I'll do a couple of little lines out like this. Now we're going to put some curves in the body here, like that, and another curve here like this. Gills. are interesting. If you was to do two very, very light lines there as guidelines, the gills would go like this, little ovals. There's 5 of them, and it gets a sort of smaller and rounder there. And the eye, which again is interesting on this character, we're going to do an oval like that. Inside that oval we're going to do a circle with a slit like a cat's eye. So now if you have done your guidelines nice and light, you won't have to erase anything, but I'm just going to erase a few lines here. Now I'm going to put a bit of shading here. This is what makes the difference between beginner and intermediate, or intermediate and professionals, how well you shade. Just barely touching the paper with the pencil. I'm using a 6B pencil today, which is really, really dark. So even with 6B you can get very, very light lines. So you see that, I've just like shaded in a little grey patch there. Now a bit close to the line, I'm going to go again. A little bit closer to the line again, slightly darker again. They have these ridges running through their body. I'm going to do the same to this line here. Cuts out about here. A little bit of shading underneath here. See, now what I do is very, very gentle, gentle, gentle as it gets to the line, a bit heavier. Here the same thing. Going right up to the tail here. So shading is important. If you can get the shading technique right, you go from beginner to intermediate straight away. Because these guys are often on the ocean floor, sitting down, divers just notice them sitting there in the nice tropical waters, we're going to put shadow underneath here to show that it's close to the bottom. So a bit of a bracket there, a bit of a capital letter U laying on the side there, another bracket going from there to there, and from there to there. And now, imagine a really skinny letter U coming out like this. Now we're going to gently shade that bit in. So again, it's just very gentle colouring it in. These guys are nice colours too. They're sort of a yellowy, tanny, warm, sandy colour. Ready to blend in with the sand. As it goes under the shark, or the bits where the shark come closer to the ground, we're just going to shade in a little bit darker, like that, like that. Certainly this bit here is going to be very well shaded in. That little point there, that point there, and this bit under his chin, where his mouth bits are. And his mouth and his nose holes and everything's just underneath, a bit like a stingray claw. You can sort of put a few specks and dots here if you like, maybe some tiny little circles to indicate sand or pebbles. And now the dots. Now the interesting thing with the patterns is that there's no set pattern. I might even remove that bit of line there. You can actually put leopard spots on, because some do look like they've got leopard spots, but they are just patterns like this. So I mean, if you wanted to, you could actually put like leopard spots on it, because some are leopard spots. And when these guys are young, they even have stripes like this. But I'm going to do these stripes breaking up into spots. But like I say, there's no actual right and wrong pattern with the dots. It's you can be a little bit creative. They do tend to have smaller dots here and larger dots sort of mid-body and up on the top part of their dorsal part here, their back, their head. So I've done some big ones there. I might do some here. But if you were to do some stripes on, you can sort of make them bend a little bit with those ridges, and that helps describe the shape a bit more. See that? But you don't have to do that, mate. A lot of these guys just dots. I might do some bigger ones here and close in the gaps a bit. But some have got sparse dots and some have got dots that are really close together. You could maybe just put a little bit of a line there to show that they're gills and they're not dots. Might be an idea. But the markings on this beautiful animal is just one of the other things which, you know, just gives it that amazing beauty. It's a gorgeous creature. I'll just give a little bit of shade here on this lower part of the tail fin. And they do have a few dots on their fins too. And here's our picture of the leopard shark, also known as the Deceiver Shark. Depends what common name you want to use. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you've learnt something from it, I hope you guys are going to subscribe and check out some other videos in my How to Draw series. There's a few How to Draw Shark series, and I do plan to do some more How to Draw Sharks, because sharks are just so damn cool. See you later.